right, this is second grade math lesson 12-4. So choose an object, measure your object in feet, then measure it in inches. Do you need more feet or more inches to measure your object, and why? So I am getting my oldest son's shoe. Look at this beautiful shoelace here. It's gorgeous. All right, I'm getting his shoe, and I am going to measure it in feet first. So it is about 1 foot, okay? So it's about 1 foot long. So here's his shoe. Okay, and now I'm going to measure it in inches and see how many inches it is. So from the top, 12, 13, it's about 14 inches long. Okay, do you need more feet or more inches to measure? Well, we definitely have more inches because inches are smaller units of measurements, while a foot is a larger unit of measurement. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the back side with our comic strip here. It says you can use different units to measure objects. Which would you use more of to measure the length of a bookcase, feet or yards? So measuring the bookcase, it's about 1, 2, 3 feet, about 3 rulers. But when you measure it in yards and you use a yardstick, it's only 1. So I used more feet than yards because a foot is a smaller unit than a yard, okay? So let's look at this. Do you understand? Show me. Would you use a ruler, a yardstick, or a measuring tape to measure the height of a door? Now, a door is very, very tall, very tall. So if we wanted to use a ruler, we could use a ruler, but we'd probably have to use the ruler a couple times. A yardstick, we'd have to probably stick about 2 times, but a measuring tape would be great. And again, a measuring tape, remember, is like a long ribbon that has it. So a measuring tape would be the best because it would be just one measurement. So you wouldn't have to keep lining it up over and over and again. Like when we measure, we have to go here and then we have to add more and that sort of thing. You could just do it with one measurement. Okay, measure each object using different units. Circle the unit you use more of to measure each object. So if we're using more of, that's going to be the one that is smaller. Okay, so we'll use the smaller one. Okay, so here's our chalkboard. Our chalkboard in the classroom is about 8 feet long, and so it's about 3 yards. So are we having more feet or more yards? Well, we'll definitely have more feet because it's smaller. So we have more feet. Okay, the chair in the classroom is about 24 inches, or it's about 2 feet. So we're using more of the inches to measure because they're smaller. So the smaller unit, we're going to have to measure over and over and over again. Okay, let's go ahead and go on to our independent practice. And again, this will look a little different because different things in the classroom that you'll be sent around to take a look at. All right, we're going to be measuring each object using different units. Circle the unit you use fewer of. So this means the bigger one to measure each object. Okay, so our book that we have is about 9 inches. So it's about 1 foot. So circle the unit you use fewer of to measure. So we're looking for the thing that's bigger, and so it's the lesser number is going to be feet, okay? The window in our classroom is about 4 feet, which is about 1¼ yards. So we're looking for the smaller number, yards. We need less yards to measure, okay? Circle the best estimate for the length of each object. About how long is a key? So a key is about that big. So a key could be about 2 inches, 2 feet, or 2 yards. Well, this is 1 foot here. That was way too big. So we know that a key is small, so it's going to be about inches. What tool would you use to measure the length of the key? I would use a ruler for the length of a key. Oh, I missed one over here. Okay, our table, sorry, number 5, our table. Our table across is about 4 feet also, which is still a little over 1 yard. And so we use fewer yards to measure because they're bigger units. Okay, about how long is a suitcase? Well, let's see. Here's 2 inches. That's like a ladybug suitcase. About 2 feet would be about 2 rulers, and 2 yards would be 6 feet, like as tall as a door. So we know that a suitcase is going to be about 2 feet. And what tool could you use to measure? You could use a ruler as well. Okay. All right, let's take a look at the back side here. Okay. Measure the length of an object in your classroom using 2 different units. So the object we are going to measure is going to be the eraser from the dry erase board. So our object is an eraser for the board. Let's see, about. So 2 different units. So we can say inches or feet, okay? It is about 5 inches, which is about 1/2 of a foot. What unit did you use more of? Well, we definitely use more inches because they're smaller. Inches. Okay, and we ended up using a ruler for this one. Okay, number 9, Andrew wants to measure the length of a football field. Should he use feet or yards to measure it? So a football field, I'm just going to tell you this right off the bat, is 100 yards is the measurement. So we want to use yards to measure it. And yards, because they are bigger than feet. They are bigger than feet. Okay, here's our assessments. What unit would you need the fewest of to measure the length of the table? Inches, feet, yards, or if they're all the same? We know we're going to use yards because the biggest tool that we use to measure, we're going to need the least of. Okay, and our assessment. Which is the best estimate for the length of a vegetable garden? About an inch. A vegetable garden is going to be bigger than an inch. About a foot. Yeah, they're going to be bigger than a foot. Think about outside Mrs. Doom's kindergarten classroom. About 20 inches. Let's see, 12. Yeah, that's less than 2 rows. Now it's going to be about 5 yards, about 15 feet, because you need a lot of room to have a garden. All right, great job, everybody.